Oh, so this week I applied to like one place, and then they immediately sent me a like within the same less than 24 hours they sent me an email like we don't think you're able to meet our qualifications. So um, like I said before, when you keep getting the same result from anything you do, inevitably start to become cynical about the process. And it was really funny to think about the how it was the week before. It was like 2, 3 weeks ago. The manager from that last place kept saying, "Oh, you can just get a job that doesn't have to do with customer service." And I was really amused by this because like like I said on one of my other streams, this was supposed to be the reason you're being gotten rid of. But then you remember the manager at the place before that who just they call you up after being disappointed or upset over and over again. It just says, "I'm getting rid of you." So it's just really funny how when people try to reassure you of something and they don't have the full picture, a lot of the like stuff they say to get you to believe something falls on deaf ears. But I can't really fault them if they actually they think this was my first attempt at working somewhere, so they don't know about the other place. I had somewhere else where this person was telling me to apply to it, but they want a resume. And why? And I always give this example. It's more because people just pretend they don't know what I'm talking about. Why would I, as someone who's been fired twice, put down either of those places on a resume? Why would I even have one? Like, what is there to put down? Because if you were somewhere that after only a few weeks decided to get rid of you, why would you want other places to know about that? Who is incentivized by that information? So that's why I didn't apply there because when they say resume, I look the other way. So people want you to be so experienced for nothing. Like, oh, you want to go to this school and read to these kids? Sure, let us know what experience you have. Like, what? To read a book? Oh, you want to help these children after school with their homework that are in like second or third grade? Sure. Let us see your resume. Like, why? What experience do you need to help someone with homework with? Like, so I said, it's just so stupid. That's why I always feel as if I'm just in this dead end with a lot of these things where like I have people who recommend to me to apply to places, and the second they say I'm like, oh, I applied there before, and then I explain to them what happened. Like I mentioned having this one company that wanted me to go downtown for a drug test, which still didn't guarantee I would get the position anyway. And to take a Uber down there, it would be like 60 or $80 to there, and then another like over $100 to go take this stupid test. Like this is not remotely worth it. Like it's just when it costs too much, it costs too much. I remember when I looked at one of my coworkers' schedule, they had this thing on there where it said their shift starts at because the store opens at 8, right? They had this thing on there that said that or on the schedule it said their shift starts at 3, and I was like, what do they do for 5 hours with no customers? Because when someone shows up at like let's say 6, 7, as far as I'm aware, it's to make like stock stuff, put stuffs in shelves. But when I was attempting to do this, most of the stuff was there. So I don't know what amount of work you can even have someone do without any customers at a place that primarily has to deal with customer service for 5 hours. It was just weird to me. I laughed because I just have the mental image of her sitting there, just in the chair in the office, collecting her coins from doing nothing. I said before, that's what a lot of these places do, where like they'll have one person in the front and the other one's just running around or sitting in the office or doing some other, behind the scenes crap. It's really depressing. Yeah, I'm really just tired of this saga. It's sad that you have to do all this stuff just to get some, and then like I said, I think what I'm just gonna take the cynical route, and when you get hired somewhere, don't smile, because I remember when I got hired here, I still like had this thing in the back of my mind about last year, and you try to learn all the stuff that they want you to do, but when they're sitting there complimenting you, you always remember history repeats itself, and it sure did. So what I intend to do is, if I ever get hired by somewhere again, I'll tell them up front again, as I always do at all these places. Want 40 hours a week available whenever you need me. And then if they don't give me that within that first week, I'm out. Because remember, my mindset now is you're going to get gotten rid of anyway. So you might as well just beat them to it. These places are really stingy about allowing any, like, I just think it's so nuts. Why do you have to have two, three jobs just to take care of yourself? Like, does anyone understand how crazy that is? You can't just work one place to give you 40 hours a week and then that's it. You have to go and um, go to apply to one place. They might give you maybe 20 or 25 hours. Then you have to go to another place and get 10 from there. Like, this is so stupid. But it seems to be how these modern companies work. Because I was told this was the same thing with even the assistant managers. Two of whom are having, one of them has a kid. I know the one I said I didn't think was attractive at all, and then this other guy, he was expecting a kid too. So these people are actual parents that have to take care of somebody else, and they can't even get a full schedule. Like, it's really pathetic. Not on their part, but on the part of this company, because it just shows you how little they care about their own workers. Oh, you can get a discount if you work here. Yeah. How about an actual living wage if you work here? How about actually making this a position where I can work it and not have to worry about getting another one or two of these? This person said, "Oh, get a car, you can do Uber." I'm like, yeah. The thing is, I don't really feel comfortable having random strangers in a vehicle with me, like behind me. I don't. I'll just come out and admit that I really there are, like, I think I'm open to most stuff, but anything that resembles a taxi or just being in an enclosed space with random people makes me uncomfortable. Yeah, I just really don't feel like doing stuff like that. I do see myself as someone that's open to most things. Like, I've never turned down a single position that's offered me work ever. Um, but I really don't feel comfortable with you know doing that particular thing. When people can get mad, they can complain, they can rage out, but there's just certain stuff I'm not willing to do. It's kind of like we were talking about. Like, I remember we were having this conversation about chicks, and I said that my preference is for older women or whatever, right? And then I remember Megumi said, what if you get so desperate you go on a date with a younger one? It's like, there's certain stuff I just won't break. If I don't feel comfortable with a certain job, I won't do it no matter how desperate I am. And I still think that's very little of them that even would make me feel that way. And there are certain chicks that if I don't think that person is attractive in any conceivable way, I won't bother with them. So there's just certain standards I have for everything. There's, like, you can only push me to my limits so far before I just say to hell with it. But I always look at it like this, these places have preferences and they get to be picky and nitpick you for not having whatever they feel you should have. So I think it should go hand in foot. Remember, these are the same people that are prostituting themselves, begging for people to apply to them. So we might as well, give them the same position of, hey, we're also selective. That stuff is terrible. And really, with the chick stuff, I mean, I don't even feel like having an age preference is bad either, because there are plenty of chicks that have that too. Like it's so weird because when you really think about it, any preference I probably have for stuff, you can find a place or some other person that has it tenfold. Like I know some people that won't date certain ethnic groups. I've never had such a I mean I have preferences, but I'm still open to to other ethnicities. So I'm just giving you an example of how you can still want something and then be accepting of other stuff, and then with certain things like, no, I'm not doing this. It's never bad to have standards, especially when you're a man and you know that you've given a lot of people chances to not be subjected to them, and they still fail to do what they need to do. Like a lot of chicks I unfriended on Discord, I didn't make any romantic overtures toward, because I'm really tired of even attempting with that. But when they get so annoying, where like they're not responding to you, like, why can't you just say to hell with it? Why do you have to sit here and put up with someone else who's online damn near every day and just won't write back to you week after week, month after month? You reach a natural point of fatigue with this stuff because it's not improving. You don't enjoy talking to these people. You can't even speak to them anyway because they won't respond. So what's so bad about saying, "Hey, look, this is going nowhere. I'm done," and washing your hands of that person? So I said, there's this weird thing online, especially with a lot of these guys that come to defend these chicks, where they just think you're supposed to be their slave and put up with all their stuff forever. It's like, no, I actually have things I want to do, and that does not entail speaking to someone who is so lazy they can't write a one sentence message back to you every 100 or 30 or 60 days. Like it's really crazy how much stuff you have to do just to talk to some of these people. Mm. And it's always the most noticeable with the ones where they were like that at first, where when you would talk to them, they would respond to you. Maybe if it wasn't every day, it was like every 2, 3 days, like a few times a week, and then it just decreases so much. And remember, with a lot of these people, they're ignoring you on purpose. You know this because they keep changing their avatar. So that means they're logging in their account and they're using it enough to care enough about the stupid picture they have on there. Because it says that they're online. In the case of the one that I was talking about, who made that private room in her server with like 8 people in it, um, that this person who sits in a call with another individual for 2 hours on end could take 1 or 2 minutes to say hello back. How are you? It's not that this is not requiring of such an extraneous effort to just respond. Doesn't have to be a paragraph. It could be one sentence, and they'll sit there and try to make it seem like they were so busy. I'm like, all right, well, if you're so busy, I'm not going to sit here waiting. I told you about that one chick that I did the video talking about. She was saying she roots for the killer, some stupid garbage, right? And she was like, I'm just here to see the killer do their thing and all this other, dumb trash. But with the person like that, I waited for that individual to respond to me for like 5 weeks. And then I said in a very, didn't call her out of her name, didn't curse. I read the message before, and this one message was enough for her to block me. So I just like after that, I'm like, all right, well, you know what? If that's how being patient and waiting for somebody is rewarded, to hell with all of them. So you won't see me waiting 4, 5, 6 weeks for any more of them, because I think that's stupid in the first place. But it's just like, if somebody waited that long to speak to me, I would not. And then they were like, hey, if you don't want to talk to me, just let me know. I don't understand how that would upset me enough to block that person. But I told you chicks are mentally ill, which you already knew based off of some of the stuff she was saying before that. It's just so funny to like people like, why don't you want to try uh approaching women to for the purpose of having a romantic relationship? Well, you can see from how insane they act when you just try to have a platonic one that you don't want to go anywhere near romance with these insane bastards. Like, and it's just like I said, every time you talk to them, it just seems like red herring and a waste of time because it never goes anywhere. They will sit there and tell you all this personal stuff about them without you asking, and it'll like there's no end point to it. There's no sense of I don't even like saying growth, but you don't see any type of advancement in this damn relationship. You don't, because like I give an example. You talked to this one broad since October. She refuses to have a call with me. Will not let me hear her voice. But then this same bastard in January gets upset because I won't tell her about some personal stuff of myself, which is none of her business because I don't know her in real life, and I don't feel as if I have a enough of a connection with this person to even divulge the stuff. Especially since I don't really like writing things that are very personal to people that I don't trust. Like that's just something. It's just my thing, right? So I'm just thinking to myself, it's like this person will get mad at me because I didn't share personal details with them, but then I'm not supposed to get mad with them when they won't let me hear their voice for 3 months. Like this is stupid. And sure enough, I got maybe like one more response from her, and then she just is someone that you were talking to maybe once a week at a minimum, sometimes multiple times a week, and then you don't hear anything from them for a whole month. It's like, yeah, you noticed that. You pick up on how less recurring this person has become, and that's what convinces you this is going nowhere because you've regressed. You went from speaking to this person a few times a week, once a week, to now you're lucky if you get a message from them every 30 or 60 days. It's really crazy. So I said that woman stuff is just it's bad. It's very nasty. They're just a very ungrateful group of people who just wants attention, and when they feel like they've got enough of that attention, they'll throw you away like a piece of garbage. I remember we were doing the stream. What was that on Thursday, right? Where you and like I don't know where people they always talk like give the false equivalency when you mention the chick stuff. They're like, oh, women have this as well. It's bad for women too. Women. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't do this to chicks. I don't sit around and pretend to be interested in talking to someone, and then now you go from speaking to me every day or every week and then I'm randomly just sending messages once a month or not at all. But even if I'm online almost every day, like I don't do this. I can make a whole video compilation showing all these. It's like 10 of them where you'll send them a message and they don't respond for weeks or for months, and then when you get rid of them, like people get mad at you. Like what? Why do you have to put up with this forever? God, like where did I sign the contract that if you're straight, you have to like endure the insanity of chicks for until you die? Like it's really whack, man. It's just people don't even they just say things, they don't even know what they're talking about. Man, that's a really active chat I have there. I don't know. Sometimes I didn't want the chat to say anything after what happened on Thursday. It's always like some antagonistic crap. It really does feel like you always have someone who can just push back on whatever claim you make. Like I think it's pretty unanimous that if I went to like if some woman said, "Hey, can I draw you?" and I said to this person who's never shown any romantic interest in me, who has never even alluded to any of that, "Sure, just don't draw me lewd." You're like, what the hell?" Right? Because that it would come out of nowhere, and the person would never have even done anything by my own admission to suggest they would do something like this. But for some reason, when you're dealing with these guys online who defend chicks no matter what, you have a guy talking about, well, you know, women are uh, are often treated as objects, and so dude, I don't care. I didn't do this. Like, spare me the BS. Spare me the BS history lesson. I wish people would just come out and say chicks are always the victim. They're always the one that got mistreated, and men are doing all this evil stuff too. Oh, I have another update on the dingbat with the baby, but I don't know if I'll share it because people aren't writing anything. I remember one time I toyed with the idea of making a video. It was going to be called "What If I Was a Parent," and it was just talking about how there are a lot of things that I just think parents should do, but they don't do. Like I think parents should have foresight. They should be able to get with someone who they know they can make it work with. Um, Preferably someone that they're actually committed to. Like that was why I stress the idea of marriage because you're less likely to see people get divorced and just like break up with this person that they're not even in a like some kind of specific union with. Um but there's a lot of stuff they don't mention, they don't talk about, and it's really sad. Like when you know that schools cost thousands of dollars, right, for years, save up for your kid to go to school. Like these are all things that if you truly believe this is the only way for them to break out and into a higher economic ladder, then you do something like that. You do that because you want to give them the best opportunity according to your own doctrine. That's why I said a lot of these people are hypocrites because they'll be the first ones to tell you how school's expensive, but then year after year they don't save for their child to go to school because they don't, again, just they don't really care about it. It's really sad. But again, we just if we just went down the I don't say the merry brick road, there's a lot of stuff that I think people should do but they don't do with kids. They just don't care. Like and that's why when I was talking about it was like I did this stream a couple years ago, or it was like what like women can have a kid or how evil they are. It was the whole point of it was just to say that kids nowadays aren't even being born because two people who love each other get together and decide they want to bring a life into the world they're going to take care of in their union. Like, no, it's nothing of that, of any such selflessness or heroism. It's just a bunch of horny people don't like rubber and then they pop out a kid. I mean, there's no attempt at even pretending that this was something you wanted or something that you were, and they go and they do the retroactive crap. They're like, "Oh, my kid was the greatest thing that happened to me." And then, they say that because they want to feel better about their accident. But, it's just I just think it's so pathetic. Like so many methods of birth control and you won't use them. Like every time they tell me that this was a mistake or they were young, like I don't buy it. Like I always remember I really hated the dingbat with the baby, not her, but what yeah, her, but also the lady lacking logic, because that person was basically trying to tell me that if you're young, you just accidentally quote unquote have children. It's like then why don't I have one if this just happens to you because of your age? Like it's stupid. Some of us actually want something better for our seed. and having unemployed parents that don't even like each other, who hate each other by the time the kid comes out, who in some cases are only together because the kid exists. I personally would want better if I had a child. That's just my take. Now, that's another thing that no one discusses, how a lot of chicks use kids to trap a man. It's like how pathetic. You know what's so funny? Like, and I parrot this too. We always talk about chicks and have all men and just in general, like they can just get a guy to go on a date with them. How pathetic is it that you're so desperate to keep this man that you'll pop out a kid to do that? Like you'll have something inside of you for 9 months and something you have to take care of for almost 20 years just for this guy to stay with you. Like how short sighted and insane you have to be to even do that. But a lot of chicks do that. Oh, that woman stuff, man, is just it's so sad because you get this over analysis, right, of guys like, oh, you must have something wrong with you because you couldn't get a date, and you must have a this type of personality, and I'm like, you'll sit here and analyze the hell out of a guy you've never met, but then when like out of one guy, right, but then when chicks do screwed up stuff in general, nobody says anything about it. Because there are a lot of chicks that come on here and post about having a kid or like multiple kids, and nobody ever says you're not prepared for this. No one ever says this is screwed up. Like I said, you'll get more backlash over doing a video about why you don't talk to women anymore than you will after making a kid that you can't afford. That's how like botched this stuff is. Like right now, Euro could make a video and it could be called "How I Got My Girlfriend Pregnant and We Can't Afford This Kid." And people will be more supportive will be less critical of that than they will be if he says, "To hell with chicks, I'm done talking to them forever." Even though when he says "to hell with them," remember he's leaving them alone. Nobody is hurt. Nobody can not, just the consequences of that are infinitely less than if he has a kid he can't take care of. But he'll see way more criticism for the latter instead of the former instead of the latter. Yeah, they have plot armor. I told you if I was in the situation that that broad has created for herself, nobody would feel sorry for me. Imagine if I was dating some woman and she pays for my car note, my house, what's the other thing? My phone, like these three things, right? And as she's doing that, I'm also getting free money from other people that I use on like stupid stuff like taking my friends out to eat. And then you're expected to feel sorry for me and my situation and be sympathetic toward me. Would you feel sympathetic toward me as I'm using the money I don't earn because I don't work to do stupid stuff with, and having this girlfriend of mine basically take care of me? Would you feel sorry for me? Like this. So I'm saying, like, n- I don't I don't get people at all. They just the stuff they will sit there and defend really blows my mind sometimes. No one seems to have any problem with relationship dating, women using a kid to pin yeah. Told you, more backlash from saying I don't want to speak to them anymore than chicks get for having kids they know they can't afford. You like it's really nuts when you think about it that way. When I say I don't want to talk to chicks anymore, no one is starving. Nobody can't afford to go to school. There's no custody battle. It's just me saying, "Hey, look, this is going nowhere. I'm done." But for some reason, more people are upset by that than a woman using a kid to pin a man in a relationship with her. It's really sad. I already like people have selective outrage. They get angry over certain things, and then you see stuff that they blatantly ignore, and you're supposed to still take them seriously. I just think the woman's situation is so like I said before, I think it's interesting, but I also believe that it's really screwed up because people the problem is when you have a lot of these chicks that say they find this interesting, they're not actually like they don't care about you as a person. They're just using you for attention and to like I guess research purposes. Like they don't actually have an interest in getting to know you because you don't matter to them. You always remember that you for the most part will never find a woman that actually is interested in you for who you are, which is why you have these guys that say, "Oh, go to the gym, become a millionaire, get this type of car, go live in this type of house." Like, yeah, someone who likes you for who you are is definitely going to show up after you do all of that, right? I can't wait to date another gold digger. But she looks good. They all look good. Oh, you didn't get the memo, Euro? You remember I mentioned that I have these guys who come on my video or stream and they're like, I don't think you're pretty enough to get with a woman. And they're the ones you're approaching are probably out of your league. I have never put up a single heifer's image in the entire history of this channel, never shown one broad's picture. And they know without seeing what any of them look like that they're all so pretty, so attractive, too good look. I'm like, all right, well then let's just say they're all too good looking because that's going to be the excuse. You judge the person you can actually see against a standard of beauty that is unconfirmed because you've never seen what any of these women look like. So they're all too good looking. I'd say the funniest thing to me is still the like you're probably boring or you're not interesting or whatever. Like you can't make conversation, no mouthpiece. I'm like, dude, none of these chicks are able to make conversation either. You get in the call with some of these bastards, they make the phone sound like it's disconnected because they won't even say anything. Like, what a joke. Like, I tell you, people just suck off chicks to such an extent that it's almost like a living gag, like a running gag of like how much can you make these people who really are not that special, just in general, right? Seem like they're so like they talk about these chicks like they're John McClane from Die Hard. They're living these action-packed, amazing, advanced lives. Like, give me a break. They're not funny. Every time I laugh at one of them, it's something that they didn't mean as a joke. It's because of an accent or some other like stupid thing that they did. They're not smart. Like a lot of them, I'll put you like this. I've had multiple chicks go up and ask me for stuff on the news. I've never asked one of them about anything historical, period. Because again, they're not they don't have any of these redeeming qualities that in general that people are trying to claim that they en masse have that men don't. But like I said, they can get away with not being very entertaining or interesting because they have a vagina. Like when you want a date with someone so bad because you've been starved of female attention year after year, you'll put up with all kind of stuff, including someone that doesn't amuse you. God, it's just that's why I said it's a false equivalency because people pretend that chicks have to do anything besides just have a triangle to get men to like them, and they don't. There are so many chicks I don't find attractive, and they still have a boyfriend. So clearly, not all of them are these supermodels. Like, get out of here. You gonna tell me to go to the gym and get in shape, but then a woman that's 300 pounds has a boyfriend? Yeah, and I'm supposed to believe that that it's all fair. Sure. Oh, they definitely sell their dignity. I'm telling you, I've seen some chicks where I'm just like, I don't understand the appeal. Like I don't find this person to have anything like funny or interesting. I don't really think they're attractive. Like Who? What man? What guy? Like I'm just not interested. So a lot of that woman stuff is just a red flag. Which is why a lot of times when people defend them, they have to come up with ridiculous stuff like, "Oh, uh, you just haven't met the right one yet." Like, yeah, if you haven't met the right one after 10 years, you're not going to meet the right one on the 11th year. That's why every time I hear soulmate, right one, you know, all the rest of that trash, I just roll my eyes. I don't even, you know, I could completely believe that a person is in love with somebody else, but I don't buy that it's a thing that really happens that much anymore. When you have increased divorce rates and a lot of people who only get together because if it's a man, it's his last resort, or the woman trapped him by having a kid that they knew they couldn't afford. Like I don't buy into it. Love, soulmates, the one. Give me a break. Why do you have to meet a soulmate to get a date? Like I mean, people make this the most, but that's why I said it's the most overcomplicated, ridiculous stuff you've ever seen. Like who wants to do that? Like I'm gonna spend my whole life trying to find a needle in the needle stack. I already told you they're all the same, man. It's just people like you get rejected by one of these chicks. People come on here and they try to gas you up and they keep doing it. Twin flames. I'm serious. I think actual love is almost impossible to find in contemporary society. Like when you know about all the reasons people get together that have nothing to do with actually caring about the other person, it's a joke. Plus, you've already seen that chicks will cut somebody off really quickly. Like if you say or do something they don't like, they'll block you or unfriend you. It's like, do you block or unfriend someone that you're supposedly in love with? You know, because they said one thing you didn't like. That's what I said. I don't really want to meet anybody off the internet anymore because I'm like, at least in real life, they can't block you. Or they still do the abruptly. That's why I said I just think the chick stuff is just a never ending cycle of the same result, and people trying to gas you up to believe something different will eventually occur. So I'm really just tired of them in general. Like I said, I didn't even approach any of the ones on Discord, and they still act like this. They're still annoying. They still abruptly stop responding. There is no hope for these bastards. Don't worry, Euro. In 2058, a woman will come around. I'm gonna start calling these chicks bots because like they all do the same thing. Have you asked out any bots this year? No, I'm tired of getting the same result. This person asked me, "What's the maximum number of chicks to ask out before you stop speaking to them?" I said, I don't have an answer to that. You just decide you're sick of this, and then that's it. Because really, if you talk to 20 of them, and you don't get anything out of that, you could say that's why you don't want to talk to them anymore. Like any number you want to pick is what you can define as enough. Basically, relationships now are like shopping on Amazon. Come over here and get these deals. Dude, it's like what that's a good question. What number is enough? Like it depends for people, you know, like I remember in real life, um, I've gone up to I don't even it has to be some double digit number at least, different malls, different schools I went to, and you kept getting the same results. Uh and then it's like, okay, you go online, then you talk to even more of them, and then they either abruptly stop responding or they say they're not interested when you're direct about your interest in them. Like it really just goes nowhere. Like it just and again, it's like at what if you like the number by itself, and then when you throw in the number of years, it's like who believes this stuff is going to be any different? Eventually, a different caliber of chicks will start approach. Chicks don't approach men they like anyway. That's a fact. I have literal proof that if you go up and ask men, "Have you ever been approached by a woman?" If they say no, they're either going to say no, or it's only happened once or twice. You know, chicks get approached by men all the time. They're not interested in you. They have all these other alternatives. God, why do you have to be part of somebody's stupid harem? Like I don't understand this at all. I tell you now I'm gonna just start turning like approaching chicks into a joke. I'm gonna just like DM some celebrity one, be like, hey, I heard you got divorced from your husband. Can I apply for the next one to be the the next one? I mean, hell, you're gonna get rejected anyway, so you know, or they're not gonna respond anyhow. I remember me and my best friend had that joke that if you approach celebrity chicks and you get rejected, nobody will blame you. Like no one would say if you did this and if you had no, because they know that they're not gonna accept 99% of the people that probably ask them out all the time or that show interest in them or whatever. I said that'd probably be a good fit. You get the same result that you can fully expect, and you know, you don't have people trying to tell you if only you did this one, you know, like the psychoanalysis isn't there. At least if someone says that person's out of your league, I would actually agree with them. I've never heard of women approaching men. Oh, I swear, dude, I have never in real life. From when I first started being attracted to chicks back when I was in seventh grade in 2011. I have never had a single goddamn vagina having individual come up to me and ask me for my number. It has never happened, not a single time, not once. And out of any of the schools I went to, and I went to multiple of them, out of any of the malls I went to, never once. It has never happened. The only time you see stuff like that is on maybe a dating website, but in real life, I have never had a single woman approach me. It's never occurred. If you don't say something to them, they act like you don't exist. And hell, even if you get them to respond back to you, they'll still lead you to nowhere. Like I told the story of the one broad I met at the mall. I asked her for a number. She gives me her Facebook. You message her on there. I cannot speak to you. I am too busy trying to go to school and work. It's like then why did you give me this way of like what you get like what was the point of that? Whatever. So yeah, it does seem like a fantasy. I have never once had a single woman in real life ask me out. It has never happened. And remember what people like to say, right? Oh, men will have to be courageous to ask someone out, or else the woman will know if you like them. It's like, yeah, same thing applies with the woman. Like, if you want to sit here and pretend, oh, there were chicks that were interested in you, but you didn't like them. That's like, okay, sure, let's pretend that's true. How the hell are you supposed to know someone is interested in you if they don't say anything to you about it? See what I mean? Like, I'm not Professor X. I'm not Jean Grey. I'm not Emma Frost. I'm not in their minds. I don't control their thoughts. So you know, like what you know what I'm saying about how it really is like a fantasy. Like I've never had a single broad in real life ask me out. And I think it don't unless I was some celebrity, I probably never would anyway. a different caliber of chick will start approaching you. I'm like, when? I guess when pigs start flying, huh? When they finally prove that Bigfoot exists, when they find life on all the other planets. Hey, I'll start having chicks approach me in real life when Pluto gets reconfirmed as a planet. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with these people. They say stuff. It's like you really want me to believe that. And it's like everything they tell you will happen. You can't believe it. It all sounds like a fantasy. Like I've never met a single guy in real life who got rejected year after year. Like let's say for 5 years, 7, 8 years, they go out and ask chicks out. They don't ever show that they're interested. They never go on a date with them, no girlfriend, nothing. I've never seen that happen to somebody year after year, and then suddenly Magic Woman shows up and she likes him for who he is. I've never the closest I can think of it is like if someone who gets rejected over and over does all this crazy crap these guys say to do and they become wealthy or famous, but then it's like the chicks that will come up to you still don't even like you for who you are. Like I'm not interested in gold diggers, you know? Just like if I had 100,000 subscribers and some woman's like, I find you very interesting, and I was wondering if I could speak to you, I'd say, to hell with you. You had your chance. You know, like there's only and hell we had one of them even attempt to do that, talking about can you give me a shout? I said no. Don't ask me for a shout. I didn't get a single shout out from anybody for years on this stupid site. So I don't feel sympathetic toward her. She can make content and get views on her own. I'm not about to sit here and play the defense team or the quarterback for her crap. No, it is like a fantasy. So there is no way. But I've seriously never seen that saga play out before. Where like you keep asking out chicks and then um like after years of hearing nothing back from them, one of the because it's one thing to say somebody will eventually say yes, but to like actually try to convince someone that they like you back, like that they're interested in you after all this time. No, tell her she can get a shout out. Well, I long stopped talking to that bimbo, so you're a little late for that. I don't give people shout outs. I didn't get any, so they don't get any back either. It's equal opportunity. Remember they say chicks want equality, right? Okay, so since I didn't get any shout outs, you don't get any shout outs. I don't feel bad for them at all. They get what they deserve. Yeah, she is a joke. I agree. That's why she's currently on Insta garbage, posting provocative pictures of herself and trying to get people to donate to her from that. I'm like, wow, a woman that's scantily clad. I've never seen that before. I remember she was trying to get me to come to her state to and rent a hotel room and told me to bring $500,000. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, we're not going in that filth. It's like you can't even explicitly state if you want to go on a date with someone, but they're supposed to come. They're supposed to fly to your state with half. Yeah, no, thank you. Well, like I said, man, when you like that's why I always mention the chicks are like people will say a man is born, but chicks are in a lot of instances are very very generic. Like, you know how many broads are posting sexual images of themselves on the internet and getting coins for it, or attempting to? Like, yeah, she's not getting any more popular because everyone else is doing it. Better looking chicks are doing it, by the way. So, it's not even it's not going to catch on because it's not something that's really unique at all. Not for her. She's still begging for money. That's why I think it's so crazy when people try to talk about like the victimhood of chicks. It's like if I went on Insta garbage and started posting naked pictures or nude images or scantily clad images of myself expecting to get donations, I would get laughed at. But then when this woman who's not even like she's whatever, it's like, yeah, okay. Keep trying to convince me that it's all fair and equal. It's really funny that they actually want us to think that that's real. Oh, these people are just they're just really nuts. Let's see what this thing is. Oh, it says somebody messaged me. Let's read this. Are you interested in the job that's 300 miles away? Yeah, definitely. It's where some of these emails, you just like, I wish I could just pull my Infinity Gauntlet and snap them out of existence because they're so useless. Like you're getting job offers in states that are like places that you're not going to go for 15 or 16 bucks an hour. Hey, that's why like I always think about those shows where like, oh, this person's job moved to this other state or this other city. It's like it'll be really funny to like have the same doctrine that these employers over here have where you go and let's say you go to like I don't know Nevada, right? And you work there for like 2 weeks and they're paying you twice as much as California, and they're like, oh, we know that you completely relocated your life to do this job for us, but we're gonna let you go after next week, or we're thinking of letting you go after like it's the same thing of they keep you on for a few weeks before they try to get rid of you for that too, in spite of all you did for them by moving to their state and just like it would that would be really screwed up, but it would also be kind of funny because it's the same philosophy of hiring people just to get rid of them shortly thereafter. The hire to fire strategy. So tired of these places. That would be ridiculous. Well, it's already ridiculous over here. It would just be even worse because you completely altered your life for this position, and this is how your sacrifices are rewarded. High turnover. Yeah, they high like I swear at both of these places the same exact thing happened. They put out a help wanted sign. You apply there, you get accepted. You're there for about a week or 2 weeks before you're threatened with being gotten rid of, right? Oh, if you keep doing this will happen to you. Then you're given at some point within the third week a final day to prove that you're good enough to stay with them. Then after this final day where you seemingly do what they want, they keep you on for a few more days just to get rid of you, after that anyway. It was the same exact thing happened at both places. Like I was shocked. It was like you that's why I said last month was a remake of May of last year because the same thing happened. We have real life remakes where they just take something that happened. It could be as a short time ago as a few months, and they'll just remake it. Like, oh, let's have the same thing happen again. I got rid of those two chicks at the same time. I was like, this is stupid. Why does it take a month to send somebody a message? Like, I don't understand that at all. You gotta be really nuts. Like, hello, person I've messaged 4 times in the last 3 weeks. I haven't heard from you since January. It's funny. I don't remember because I've been using Discord for like at least 4 or 5 years. I don't remember this being as big of a problem. Like it seems like every chick does this now, and even some of the guys too. Like, and I'm just like, all right, look, if you're on here every day and I don't hear back from you for 4, 5, 6 weeks, I'm done. Like, it's not really anything to write home about. You get kind of tired of always seeing somebody online, but they won't say anything to you. So I said that stuff is just so repetitive. It's the same old song, story, the same old song and dance. Oh, they always have a high turnover. They get rid of people as quick as you can say damn. And they always gas you up before they do it. They always talk about how, you're a nice person, you're this, that, and the other, you know how to do the stuff, but we're still getting rid of you anyway. They always try to make you sound like you're not that bad. It's not coincidence to see the majority of managers break up, or the majority of marriages break up. Yeah, I mean, when you don't have an actual commitment to this person, it'll fizzle out. I don't know why anybody even like actually tries to push. Like every time someone tries to tell me about the one or this woman that's gonna come around and not be like all the ones year after year to just treat you like garbage. I was like, guys, I don't believe it. I don't. Especially since we know a lot of the men that they're actually with, they treat like trash. I mean, look at the thing about with the baby. You have a guy who, God, where do we even begin? He you're insane and you get yourself kicked out of where you live, so he pays for your stuff to be kept in a storage unit for like a whole year. And then as he's doing that, you're cursing out over the phone and you're cheating on him. And then you only are committed to him and stop cheating on him after you get knocked up by him because you're too stupid to put on rubber. And then after he's taken care of you and this kid, you go and steal from him. And then you also, what was the other insane thing that she did? What was the other one? Oh, and then when you have the nerve to say that he's a deadbeat, even though you're not even employed. Like, just, I told you, don't ever like romantic relationships are really overhyped because all kind of bad things happen to men when they're with chicks, and these like damn parrots come on here and they try to convince you when you get with the woman, it's so magical and she's in love with you and you get to hold hands and you meet someone who understands you for who you are and she's so interesting and she cares about it's like what Disneyland fairy tale garbage did you come out? It is, yeah, it is fantastical BS. That's that's the type of magic it is. Like I'm serious. I've seen so many garbage chicks get with men. I'm like, you can't tell me that this type of thing is not susceptible to happen to you, regardless of how long it took you to get with someone. Like it could be 5, 10 years as these people are telling you to keep asking out chicks, and you could get the exact same trash scenario. I'm not even joking. When that thing happened with the gold digger, I'd never even seen like in real life. I know people talk about online, but I'd never even seen a gold digger in real life before. Like I'd never seen a chick that was like so open and transparent about like you know, buy me this, buy me that, you know? Like a lot of them are more nuanced with it where they'll get with some man and they'll go, "Oh, I think you're this, that, and the other," and then they'll like slowly start begging for stuff. But with her, it was like an on and off switch where the second you agree to be with this person, she starts begging for coins as quickly as if she's like a robot. She's been turned into this caricature of what she was before that just has a single track of trying to drain your resources. Remember, it's so funny that people compare getting with a woman to getting a job, even though they're two completely different things. One is essential, one is not essential. But then when you're with chicks, you're susceptible to lose money, whereas with a job, you're more inclined to make money. Like on a job, they don't beg you for cash. You know, they might beg you for some more hours, but you still will get paid by the end of that. There's literally no incentive to get with chicks if if having a girlfriend means you're gonna have someone that begs you for money every day. Like who the hell wants to be drained of their resources? I tell you, people really like to sit there and they deify chicks so much. They act like being with one of them is this amazing conclusion to this arc. It's like, no, you could talk to chicks year after year, and then one of them agrees to date you, and then she says, no thanks, I won't do this again. And then you're right back to the damn drawing board. Or, this person could be someone that begs you for coins every day, which has already happened. No, when that happened, I had never seen one in real life before, so it took me by surprise. Especially since I said before, she acted like a semi decent human being, and then you agree to this union and just what's that noise they make, the like Jesus Christ, you can't even. And I still don't know what's worse, the chicks or the people that come on here. It's like there's three groups of people. It's the garbage chicks that waste your time, right? These guys that come on here and defend them, and then these other people. And the gender may vary, but I call them the positivity punks. They go and try to tell you that you will eventually meet someone, even though there's no evidence of this. You will eventually meet someone that will like you back for who you are, or like you'll find this perfect woman after getting nothing year after year. So those three groups of people just make this whole thing completely unappealing. At just to put it lightly. Jesus Christ. I think they choose to act that way. As I don't think the like laws can only do so much, and I really want to try to turn this into a debate about that stuff because I'm just not in the mood for debates. But I think a lot of them just act like that because they like attention and they like to see. They don't really see a man as a partner. They just see it as like a way to get some cash or to get some kind of like discount or some other thing that is extortion based. Why do you think you have so many people who will tell you to become wealthier or aim to make lots of money if you want to date with a woman? Like they know that chicks are gold diggers. They don't actually care about men, or being with someone because they like them. It's all superficial crap. Like I said, it's really sad that they act like this. Can't say I'm too surprised though. Oh man. I mean, that's always the biggest problem with the woman stuff. Just having people like be so so like uncharacteristically non-sympathetic toward you. Like it you probably did this. Like, okay, if you're gonna blame me for everything that happens, then we don't need to have a conversation about it. I remember I saw this one guy in my comment section talking about you need tough love. I'm like, you don't know damn love. You don't even know me. You're gonna talk about you love me. Creepy bastard. You better believe that person got ignored. You know, they only get referenced to get laughed at. I already said before, the chick stuff just like destroys people's minds. Like when you hear some of the arguments they make in favor of them, you're really like, wow, these people actually believe this. They actually want us to believe this. Hmm. Like you're more amazed that someone could even sit there and think getting the same result over and over again is supposed to incentivize you to keep trying. We already discussed before. People just hate men. That's all it really boils down to. And it's not even just about like rejecting someone. Like to get rejected is one thing, but then to have people who aren't even there, like you probably did this, you probably did, it's that also just makes it really uninteresting as something you would want to do. Hmm. No, I think chicks despise men. Like I'm not even joking. I think that there's like a part of them that just hates guys. Like they're just like, oh, you want us to talk to you? Ha 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 ha. Because I do believe a lot of them really get off on like seeing some man that they can tell is like not being shown interest by chicks and then appearing to be that way and then pulling a 360, like not actually doing it, but making it look for a time like they would. So I said they act like something's wrong with them. There was some that I think I went over this before. The Flash got delayed again. I'm so tired of that movie getting delayed. That movie's been delayed 5 times. And now there's a joke on Twitter that it's never actually going to come out. We're just going to keep seeing trailers. This thing isn't going to come out until 2030 or something. Like, it's just never. It's just like they've only filmed like little tiny scenes. I mean, I could believe that because of the way that they're being really secretive. But also, just it's taken really long to get this movie. Like, I don't understand. Why do you have to wait so long for a film? Why can't the damn thing just come out? It's really irritating. So I guess the only two I can really look forward to this year are probably going to be Doctor Strange and Spider Verse 2. But even with Doctor Strange, like I don't even really see people caring that much about the plot. It's just like, oh, who's gonna cameo in this? Who's gonna make a 5-second appearance? Like, can I just see the movie? Thank you. I hope it's not as ridiculous as it was with No Way Home, and it kind of already it is. I still wouldn't say it's as bad, but it's that same thing of like, is this person in the movie? Here's a fake poster that I just made where I Photoshop this image together. Like, damn. Yeah, they really like doing that. And this other person asked me, "Am I going to see the Batman?" I was like, "Well, I already explained before. I'm really tired of reboots. I'm tired of them starting over again and again. I don't feel like we spend enough time with Affleck to really feel like, oh, I can't wait to get another version of this character." So I'll probably only get around to seeing it when it comes out on like DVD or home media because I like the runtime of it also is like what is it, almost 3 hours. So I'll see it eventually, maybe in like May or June or July or something. I just the only thing that has me kind of interested in another one, because they're always going to make a sequel, is that they're saying they're interested in doing Robin. I would really like to see that if they did Robin, I'd be the first one in the theater because I'm tired of these damn Batman directors having this weird hatred toward that character. It's really annoying. Like yeah, Tim Burton talking about I don't like me and this. It was him and the guy that wrote one of the scripts for it was either the 89 or Returns or like, oh, we don't like Robin because we see Batman as the ultimate loner and it doesn't make sense for him to have this little kid following behind him. And then you had either Nolan or Bale saying that they were going to tie themselves to their trailer if they had to introduce Robin. I was like, what's wrong with these people? It's really weird, man. Like just they always pick something really interesting to have a problem with. So I hope they do introduce him. Like Robin could really fit in a gritty story. Just have a kid that lost both of their parents, that Batman feels sorry for and takes in. Like you don't. It's really not that complicated. I don't know why they hate this character so much. It's bizarre. So that's why I say a lot of times I don't understand writers. Like they do things that don't make sense to me. Robin's the greatest sidekick ever made. I thought the recent Batman was good. Oh, if you go on Twitter, you hear people calling it a masterpiece, and they were like angry at Ben Shapiro because he didn't like it. Yeah, I just wasn't that interested in it because I'm really sick of reboots. I'm really tired of starting over. Um, it's just it gets really annoying to have to keep seeing the same thing begin again and again and again. But again, I have no doubt I'll see it eventually. I just wasn't riding on the hype train. This is the greatest Batman movie ever made. No, man, I saw the like it's the same thing with No Way Home where I was like, all right, it's good, but it's not this great, amazing. Never, like the only thing unprecedented was the multiverse thing and bringing back past franchise characters, but I still wouldn't say it was this uh, what do you call it? Victory for modern film. Like, get out of here, man. Right, but I'm saying that I'm just you can like something and not I hate saying this term, but suck it off to the extent that other people do. Like, Every time a new movie comes out and it's not awful, they say this is the best one ever made. I remember when The Dark Knight Rises came out. This is the greatest movie ever made. One of my classmates said that. Like, can you guys stop? Like, I know you're riding the hype train, but it gets kind of like a running gag to just say this is the best one, the greatest one, the most amazing one. Like, all right, okay. It's like I understand. Okay, it's all right. I still wish we could have got Tim Burton's Batman 3 with Robin Williams as Riddler. That would have been so cool. There's a lot of like unproduced Batman stuff that I wish we had. The Joker has been the main villain of many of the movies, so I thought it was refreshing not to have him as the villain for once. I mean, it's not really that refreshing. You've had multiple movies without him even appearing. Don't make me go down the list. Out of the Burton Schumacher films, he's only in one of them. The Dark Knight trilogy is only in one of them. So out of those 7 movies, he's only in 2. Like, and hell, if you count BVS, then out of 8 movies, only in 2. So I don't really feel that he's really that overexposed. I mean, I guess I'm glad they finally got around to Riddler. I'm probably I don't know if I'll like this portrayal more than the what was the Tommy Lee Jones version, but or excuse me, the Jim Carrey version. That's what swapped actors. The Tommy Lee Jones one that played Two Face. It's so funny when you start to think about the fact that Scarecrow has been in more of the like modern live action Batman movies than Joker's been. Just thinking about that makes me amused. No, when I was on Twitter, they were riding the hype train. They were like, "This is the greatest Batman movie ever. Robert Pattinson is the greatest Batman. What's her name? Zoe Kravitz is the best Catwoman." When I heard that, I fell on the floor laughing. I was like, personally, I would say that uh, as far as like best portrayal, I'll go with either Bale or Keaton, one of those two. But I'm sorry, I will never believe that any of the actresses that play Catwoman after the one from Batman Returns are anywhere as good as her. I doubt it. Dude, I saw somebody's ranking video yesterday. They said Affleck was the best one. I was like, what? Like, I'm done. Seriously, he had like I don't even that guy's channel is just garbage. Every time I go over there, I just roll my eyes. That's the same guy that said, no, I'm not gonna use that movie as an example. I don't even know if you like Ghostbusters. He had another ranking that I thought was insane. I'm so tired of these ranking videos. It feels like it's always I think they're the laziest content. And what I mean by that, like rankings is in like, oh, ranking the movies, right? Because usually the people that make those already have a review of every movie on their channel. So a ranking is just an excuse for them to talk about the same movie again, except abridged and without actually, adding anything new. Like it's like taking all of your reviews and playing them in a in abridged order in one video. It's really lazy. I mean, I do like Arnold, but That was that was not good. The only don't like I'd rather watch Sub Zero than Batman and Robin. You could just watch all the episodes of BD of the animated series with Mister Freeze, and that'll be a better story than than what we got in in Batman and Robin, the ultimate toy commercial. I still would say that I was really disappointed by what's that one movie that came out, that animated movie, The Killing Joke, just because the comic I thought was really good, and then they botched the film. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna have Batgirl have more scenes," and they give her this weird romance with Bruce where I want to vomit. It's like, you guys, what's wrong with you? Dude, I don't even know what the deal is with DC's films anymore. Like, apparently, the Batgirl movie is going to be set in the DCEU because they have J.K. Simmons playing her dad, and he played Gordon in Justice League. But then they're going to have Keaton play Batman. So, like, what you get where like why is Batman older than Gordon? Whatever. I don't even understand anymore. Yeah, it is some goofy stuff. Like I love Keaton as I mean in anything he does, but it doesn't make any sense as to how you're gonna say this is in the DCEU, but then not use the Batman from your universe. Like I don't. And now because Flash got delayed, we're gonna go into that movie confused because apparently Batgirl's still coming out this year. So like I don't even know. I said these people. Oh my god. Oh, it's very goofy. Their cinematic universe is one of the most confusing and jarring things I've seen in modern film. We already been over this before. Everyone's trying to piggyback off of Marvel, and it's not really working out for them. So they're like also kind of like, like it's not working for DC, right? That's why they have to like do this course correction with the Flash movie. Um, what's that other one, Dark Universe, where it was like the Mummy was supposed to be the start of all these like modern versions of different classical horror villains, and then that film underperformed, and they just said to hell with it. No, I'm so done with this universe. With all these different cinematic universes, they do the same thing. They try to rush to have some crossover film, and then it doesn't work, and they do course correction. I can't wait for the Batman to get two sequels and they reboot it. You're like, this time we're even more darker and edgier. Like, all right. Now that Flash movie has me so confused. Like, apparently Zod from from Man of Steel is coming back in that, which I did like that portrayal. But then he died in that movie, so I guess this is an alternate. Is it like No Way Home, where it's an alternate version? Like before he gets his neck snapped, he gets pulled in this other dimension. It just feels like an overstuffed. Over like this movie has Flash, Supergirl, two versions of Batman, um, Iris, whatever her name is, Zod, that chick that follows me around Fiora. Like I don't even know what this is anymore. This movie's got this enormous cast. I said before that a lot of these crossover films are just like it's just the cameo era, like where you really start to feel like they stuck someone in there just so they could get one scene. Damn, they changed the release date so quickly ago that Wikipedia, not Wikipedia, um, Google still says it's coming out in November. This movie is so overcrowded. It's gonna be just like No Way Home, where I watch it. I'm like, all right, well, it was all right, but there were these two, three people they could have cut out, and there would be no difference. I'm always for bringing people back though, because I remember one of my biggest complaints about the comic book film genre is that they always kill off the villain or only use them one time if they don't kill them off. So I see bringing Zod back as kind of undoing that a little bit. Is the last thing written in the stream going to really just be some goofy stuff? That's really going to be the final comment for the rest of the stream. Nobody else can write anything. You don't have to, but it would move things along a little bit. No, I really every time I hear about the Flash movie, I'm just extremely confused about it. Like, why are there three other superheroes in it? Why are there Superman villains in it? Like I don't even like what is this? Especially when you remember that Henry Cavill still wants to play Superman, but DC is it like I guess it's Warner Brothers. They're giving him the cold shoulder, like they just won't even contact him to begin doing a second one. Just mix everything together. Yeah, I don't know what that movie is. Like you look at every other film that's coming out this year. Okay, Doctor Strange 2. It might have some crossover stuff, but like we know it's about Strange and Scarlet Witch. Um, like it's pretty straightforward. Aquaman 2 brings back everybody from the first movie. With Flash, it's like, okay, you have him trying to save somebody, whatever, like go back in time, but then he's also going to encounter the Batman from his universe, the one from another universe, and a Supergirl who's never even been introduced yet. So like what huh? Yeah, that is their strategy. Just throw everything together. Like Superman villains in a Flash movie. I want to see Doctor Strange too. That's being directed by Raimi. I'm definitely seeing that. I'll go and see it opening day. Oh, Jem, thanks for the comments. Yeah, I thought it was all right. I'm still trying to figure out what the deal is with Flash. Like, I don't think I've been this confused by any of these films in a long time. Just when I look at the cast of people that are in, like, what are they doing? Oh, yeah, thanks. I'd put out more episodes if I could get the damn voice actors to record stuff and then quit on me every 2 weeks. No, the main lesson I learned from that show is if I ever make anything else, I'm either voicing everybody or if I have somebody else voice someone, it's gonna be someone I know in real life. Because these computer people are not reliable. All they do is ruin everything they touch. Now you'll probably try to extort me for some cash because you're trying to be the new Bezos. Yeah, I'm good. I don't even do the show that much in just the way it used to be. Like, where I'll just draw stuff for like some random episode one day and then that'll be it. Oh man. Give me a free contract. Yeah, until they sucker you in all those contracts that are so long nobody can even read it. No, I just feel so bad for Cavill. Like, he wants to play Superman so much, and they just I don't know what they're doing. And this really does feel kind of like a slap in the face. Like, there was a belief that they were gonna erase all the Snyder related stuff of the DCU with Flash, but then they're gonna use the villains from the first film of the franchise. It's weird. It's weird. So I said this is just so bizarre. Like, what are they even doing? No, I'm not giving you free anything. So on this website, people act like things that are free cost money. Like, hey, leave a comment. Hey, can you click a like button? It's too hard. Might as well just quit. Oh, that's just how they are. Every time they're offered a chance to help improve, so even if it costs them nothing, they still won't do it. Can't watch a video, can't write a comment, can't click the like button, nothing. Just impossible. I don't even want to look at Jim right now. Like, I can already see from just the stuff he's written, he could never make it in customer service. He needs to go work in some other type of job where they're still going to get rid of him after a few weeks anyway. It's just so funny how she really convinced herself that it was just because of like the type. Like, no, it doesn't matter what job it is. If they want to get rid of you, they will get rid of you. That's why I'm really just not even like applying that many because it's like, what's the point? No, when the same thing happens twice, and you after like months of hearing nothing back from places, yeah, you'll start to believe you're cursed because out of all the places They didn't say anything back. The few times that they did the same thing, back to back. Jesus, man. I was so pissed off that one Thursday I was doing that stream. Oh, this person changed their name on Piscord, and I was saying that, and I noticed that. It's like, who is this? I said that's the funniest thing to be ignored by somebody on there while they're changing their avatar and picture over and over again. It's like you must think I'm really stupid to think that you're just so busy and you can do that over and over. No, the ultimate betrayal was the broad that we mentioned last week. The one that was what do you call it? Changing her. Um, that was like, oh, I haven't been able to respond because I'm so busy. And then you see her sit in a blocked call with some person for 2 hours in her server. I was like, yeah, this is ridiculous. I'm done. Any amount of sympathy I had for her just went right out the window like that. That was nuts. Jesus Christ. So I said people just are really insane with some of the stuff they choose to do. Oh man. All right, let me see what else is here. Um, and that comment section just dies out so quickly. I mean, whatever, it's fine by me. I'm not really that bothered by it. No, just doing a show is like really frustrating. Just from a standpoint of like if you're the only person who you have to come up with the idea, you know, outline. That's what I always like to do is just outline what the plot is. Sometimes I might not do that for the first episode or pilot. Then you have to write the script. Then I used to look for VAs, but that's over now. Then you record all your stuff, which is everything at this point, and then you begin the process of like drawing all different scenes. It's just a really big hassle, and then you come on here and get like 5 views for all your efforts. So man, people just they don't care. Some if I look at some of the videos on here that people put effort, like I can tell they put a lot of effort into it, and like the views, I'm like, wow, they really just do not give a damn. Like I was watching this one person they made a character analysis video of this character from this movie that I really like, and they were talking about how people call them annoying, but they really like them, and it had like different scenes playing throughout it when they were making their point. Like, it was really well edited, and it only had like 100 views. which again is like very low for, like when I think of like not over edited, but like hyper editing and all this different stuff people are doing to make things look good. I would assume it would have 1,000 at the very least, a couple hundred, like just only 100. I was wow, that's really sad. And that's not an indictment on that person. It's just the fact that people they just don't care when they get content that someone actually tried to make look good for them. It's really sad. It's depressing that they're in a circumstance like this where they can just make things and people are like, whatever. Thanks for creating this thing that you put all this effort to that I'm not actually gonna watch or, engage with at all. Like I remember at one point I was talking about doing these different documentaries, but other than the fact that my computer didn't have enough space for like I literally cannot upload an hour long video. But like if even besides that, it was the fact that why sit here and spend weeks, days, making something like that, and then people don't watch it. It doesn't even get 100 views, or if they do watch, they'll leave a comment or don't click the like button. It's like there's just such a lack of engagement from this site that it really makes me not even want to bother with doing the more creative stuff that I'd have preferred to have done. And yet people are like, "Oh, you should make videos because you like." It's like, yeah, but if you don't get any support for making them, there is a part of you that becomes more and more numb to the process. Especially if it's something you put a lot of effort into. Like, I'll sit there and talk for like 5 minutes into the camera. That's nothing, but just to sit here and like write a script and draw this stuff out, and it's like, yeah, you want people to see it. You wouldn't do all this and put it up publicly if it was just supposed to be this thing that you just have in the in the background or whatever. But that's why I said this site just gives people all kind of free material to gravitate toward, and they don't. Also, if you can hear that, I apologize. All right, now my stream's probably gonna get copyright struck for them playing that. That's just my luck. Yeah, guys, you know what? I'm gonna get off here because I'm just that's getting on my nerves. I'm gonna put some headphones on and tune it out. It's annoying. So thanks for showing up, Gem, Euro. Um, I will stream again on Monday. Have a good weekend, and hope you enjoyed.